Howdily diddly neighborinos. I am Rad, and welcome back to Shift Guidance. This is the Nearly Nightly Oracle, a series where I typically just draw one, but maybe more if I feel particularly guided or if the cards just fall that way. But typically, just one Oracle card to see what message Spirit has for us to meditate on this evening, or longer than that, for the next few days, for the next few weeks, months, years, however long you need to resonate with this message. But tonight, we are going to be pulling from the Mystical Shaman Oracle by Alberto Villoldo, Colette Baron Reed, Marcela Lobos. There might be 3 people, I'm not sure. It's a long name for one person, but some people got long names. But it might be 3 authors in this deck. I'm really not sure. But before we start, as always, let's take a deep breath and ground ourselves into this moment. And give thanks to Spirit, to ourselves, to Source, to be able to be here in connection and presence with Spirit, and for the communication we are about to receive. Thank you, Spirit. All right. Spirit, what message is it you have for the collective this evening? We're going to set these aside. I think that might have just been me. We'll see. There's the 1, 2, 3. How did these fall? I think they were like this. Alright, so first, let's take a look at these. First, we have the Wild Woman. Second, the Sweat Lodge. And third, the Upper World. So, to be perfectly frank with you, I am not familiar with this deck. So we are going to go straight to the book. But actually, before we do, if y'all are familiar with sweat lodges, a sweat lodge is a ceremony very common among the American Native peoples, and I'm sure among other tribal people as well across the world. I can't say that for sure, but I know it's a very common practice here in America, in the United States. And the Upper World, I believe, is going to be talking about the higher vibrational densities, the less dense. This could be the astral plane and or higher. So, but let's get started. First, we're going to the Wild Woman. The Wild Woman, the essence of the card. When the wild woman dances into your reading, she reminds you of the essence of authenticity and freedom. Divested of all social constraints and cultural conformity, the wild woman holds up a mirror to your essential self, the true essence of who you are and who you're meant to become. She is a reminder to she is a reminder of the bright light within each of us that gets dimmed by the restrictions imposed upon us, by the expectations of society. She reminds us that in order to be fully present to life, we must uncover the light and let it shine brightly, regardless of the perceived consequences. The invitation of this card. When the wild woman comes to dance into your reading, you're invited to shine brightly and to know that your true self is being called out to engage the world. This is a symbol that your long-held dream is beginning to take root and wants to be expressed. Your authentic self doesn't fit in a box. It needs the freedom to shine. It needs to have courage and step into the light. The wild woman says, shine brightly, dance with abandon, be yourself, and let the Great Spirit decide what happens. You'll be happy you did. In the medicine of the card. Excess for its own sake is a sign of imbalance. This is a warning that you may be trapped in obsessive thinking or behavior, looking for release in places that will never provide it. Let go, lest you become like the hungry ghosts of Chinese Buddhist lore that can never be fulfilled. True release comes from trusting the fluidity of life, understanding that just as a river needs its banks to flow through, so too do you need boundaries around your thinking and behavior. Now is the time to simplify, be mindful, and connect to that light within. So now we'll move to the Sweat Lodge. So right off, before we get into the Sweat Lodge, the wild woman. So in this life, we take on roles. A lot of times without even realizing we do so. We take on the roles that society places upon us, our surroundings. We typically tend to morph into what we feel will best suit our own good and what we think we need. But so often, we're so far off the mark, we try to conform. We don't express our true selves. And then as we're moving into the Sweat Lodge, if you have access to a true Sweat Lodge ceremony, that can be a beautiful ritual. It can be a beautiful transformative thing. And it can be very helpful in shedding these roles and remembering our true selves. So now let's get into it, the essence. The Sweat Lodge represents the womb of Mother Earth. Volcanic stones are heated in fire outside, then brought into the lodge and placed in a shallow hole in the center. Participants sit in complete darkness around the red-hot stones to sweat away old habits and beliefs and heal disease. When you return humbly to the womb of the mother, you are offered second chances. The invitation. This is a time to journey inward into the dark and hidden places of your soul to reconnect with the ancient earth wisdom. You can also create a sacred and intimate space in the dark by lighting a candle. Observe what emerges and without judging it, invite it to bring you its gifts. You are being offered an opportunity to shed and heal from the aspects of your life you have outgrown. Again, like I was just saying, this is an opportunity to shed these roles placed upon us that are too constrictive for our spirit. Our spirit, your true self, is infinite. You are infinite. So any boundaries you place upon yourselves, it's time to get rid of those. You are being offered an opportunity to shed and heal from the aspects of your life that you have outgrown. Do not worry that you will be consumed by the process. In the medicine of this card, life is offering you a second chance. Take it, since this chance may not come your way again for a while. Mother Earth is calling you into her womb and inviting you to incubate as long as needed for a spiritual rebirth. Give yourself time to be with your darkness, your fears, your pain, and your seeds of beautiful potential until you come out the other side free, wise, and full of creativity. And 59, the upper world, is what we are moving on to. The essence of the card, the upper world. Angels, divine helpers, the ancient ones, and all varieties of luminous beings populate the upper world. It is the place where you go to retrieve your destiny and find out who you will become. Discover your great potentials and undreamt of possibilities. It is also the place where the spirits of the dead arrive when they complete their journey to the light. The invitation. The upper world is calling you to step into your fully realized self. Clear distractions so that you can move into a higher density. Do not fall to the temptation to craft a slightly more improved version of yourself. What you perceive as a problem or an obstacle is in fact the irritation you need to take the great leap. Remember, you cannot cross the Grand Canyon in 2 small jumps. In the medicine of this card, ask your divine helpers for guidance. If the oracle has already spoken to you, do not ask for more guidance. Take what has been offered. Now you must deal with the lethargy and idleness. With support for a new destiny is not, while support for a new destiny is not yet in place, a new destination is available to you if you act now. So basically, the core root of this reading seems to be it's time to shed the roles, embody our true wild woman, or embody our true selves, get comfortable with our shadows, because they too are part of yourself. And to move forward, to ascend into higher densities, we need to do so as a whole being. We can't just leave aside these aspects that make us uncomfortable, that we try to push away into the dark recesses of our minds, and then in doing so, we will ascend into the higher densities, the new world, the 5D. But yeah, pretty sweet little reading. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit, again. And thank you guys for being here. If y'all found this message to be resonant, please like and subscribe. Share it with your friends, anybody that you may feel is interested in these topics. And until maybe tomorrow, maybe not, I love y'all, and the very best blessings. Thank you.